Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
The rape trial in Hughes County for Mason Buehl has been pushed back until October. If you remember, Buehl was a teenager who was sentenced in the Harrisburg school shooting back in 2015. He never served prison time but was given a 25-year suspended sentence.
Buehl is now 22 years old and, depending on the outcome of what happens in Hughes County, could be going to prison for a long time. The Lincoln County State's Attorney has reopened the case against Buehl for the school shooting and could receive a new sentence for violating terms of his probation. Buehl is currently out on bond. Kenneth Rader, James Hafner, and Billy Knutson have been charged for their roles in the attack on the Capitol. Knutson pled guilty to entering and remaining in a restricted building. His other 3 charges were dropped with the plea deal. He faces up to a year in federal prison when he is sentenced in August.
Rader was charged with parading, demonstrating, or picketing in the Capitol. He pleaded guilty this week and will be sentenced in September. Hafner is accused of breaking past police barriers and spraying police officers with substance from an aerosol can. His case is still making its way through the court.
Charges may be pending following a standoff with police in Pierre on Wednesday. Officers initially responded to a 911 call for assistance with an unknown problem.
When police arrived, they were told a person was inside the home armed with a gun. Negotiations lasted just over an hour and ended with the person surrendering peacefully.
Turning to weather now with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Warm weekend ahead, Brian.
Yes, warmer weather, but in the transition there, we've had a few showers overnight. Sioux Falls area, between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of rain in parts of the city, although that area of rain kind of narrow through the city of Sioux Falls. We've also developed some fog this morning. We're still dealing with that during the 7 o'clock hour, but I do think that these foggy areas will be dissipating quickly as we hold and get through the late morning hours. Pierre, Mobridge, and Winter all dealing with some reduced visibility. The hour-by-hour temperature, well, as we get through the mid-afternoon, I think it's going to feel pretty good out there. Mid to upper 70s, Sioux Falls to Watertown. We're still not in that deep humidity yet, but that day is coming fast. In fact, tomorrow we're already going to see some of that, and I do expect a couple of overnight hits of rain. So we'll visit about those details for the weekend in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. We've been digging deep into our archives this week during the 50th anniversary of the Rapid City flood. KELOLAND News had crews in the Black Hills covering the devastating aftermath of the flood that killed 238 people.
Our coverage back then included an interview with then-Governor Richard Knipe, who reached out to governors in other states asking for financial help for homeowners who lost so much in the flood.
Many people have lost their homes, still have high mortgages on those homes. They've in effect lost their equities and still have a high debt limit. With monetary assistance is our principal concern right now, and I've made that appeal to all the governors.
Rapid City would eventually secure millions of dollars in federal money to help rebuild. The first of many Pride celebrations begin this weekend in Brookings and Aberdeen. Brookings was recently listed as the most LGBTQ inclusive city in South Dakota by the Human Rights Campaign. Brookings Pride organizer says that the diverse community allows for people to come together and be welcoming of all individuals.
Digital reporter Jasmine Jackson spoke with Pride organizers in Brookings and Aberdeen about how they're preparing for this week's events and how the community is coming together to show support. That's with a KELOLAND.com original online right now. Midwest Honor Flight is set to host its 2nd annual Honor Ride.
The event was created to honor veterans past, present, and future, and participants are encouraged to take along a picture of the veteran they wish to honor. More than 100 people took part in the inaugural Honor Ride. This year's event will include something new, a meal.
We're going to grill some burgers and hot dogs and throw that in at the end of the ride. And that'll be all included. It's the same price, $30 for one person, $45 for multiple people that are participating, and all those funds are going to go directly towards these future flights, whether that helps fund these fall ones due to those increases or it goes towards the future in 2023.
Registration for Honor Ride starts at 12:30 Sunday afternoon at the South Dakota Military Heritage Alliance in Sioux Falls. Carol Wolf has been teaching kids with special needs how to swim for over 30 years.
10 years ago, she started running the adaptive swim program at the Laurel Oaks outdoor pool, giving kids a chance to learn how to swim in an open swim setting.
Kids with special needs in any sort of way gets to be in an environment and be included with everybody else. And the timing of this, where all the other families that come or daycares that come, they even interact with our kids.
She says that by doing the lesson during open swim, it helps kids adapt to sharing the pool and handling all the sensory stimulation that comes with it.
That is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather today. Well, we did get some rain last night in eastern KELOLAND, at least in the southeast, and I do expect tonight another chance of some of this as we look at these temperatures. We're kind of starting this whole transitional phase on the weather with the forecast going to warmer numbers for the weekend and obviously into Monday of next week. Let me show you this weather map tonight. You'll see a couple of thunderstorms this evening up here in the far northeast. That could clip east of Marshall here. I do expect, though, there's probably some other pockets of rain coming in northwest of Sioux Falls, either very late tonight or early tomorrow morning. So there's kind of a window in there where I would be at least aware of that fact. Don't be shocked if we end up getting a couple of renegade showers and thunderstorms. But the main takeaway here is Saturday, the high temperature. Well, first of all, this is the warmest we've been all month. Think about that for a moment. You know, we've made it through the first 10 days of the month, and really below average temperatures, very common, but now that begins to change this weekend. Now, there will be some storms, probably Saturday night into Iowa. Probably a new round will develop in the Black Hills, too, Saturday evening. And for that reason, there's a marginal risk of severe weather with that. Again, we're not as concerned about that round, but I would say Sunday afternoon, kind of watch that in the Black Hills. That's already bounced up to that slight risk zone, and there's probably more coming on Monday in western and north central South Dakota. That could be kind of a rough time period because Sioux Falls will be very warm and humid and probably too warm to storm. So wherever we get that collision up there in the west and north, that could be kind of rough with hail and wind possibilities. Well, today, no talk of severe weather, at least during the day part forecast. 77 Sioux Falls. Looks like a real good summer weekend. 80s, you know, just warm enough. A little rain here and there at times. Monday turns hotter. Little wind out of the south, 92. But then we drop back low 80s by Wednesday of next week. And there probably will be some rain chances midweek. Also, that's important because if you heard us talking earlier in the KELOLAND this morning, we were looking at Father's Day weekend, already looking at high probability of 90-degree weather. So eventually, you know, we're going to start getting more momentum, and there's clearly a set of days in Aberdeen way warmer than we've been. And, you know, there's a lot of good things about that because obviously we got to get crops in the ground and things catching up after some spring delays. There are going to be rain chances, and as I just mentioned, Pierre and Rapid, be mindful of some severe weather Sunday and Monday. That could be a little bit of a problem through the hills. Check out details with the weather online at KELOLAND.com.